think that when people think about world building, they tend to only think of it in terms of fantasy and science fiction, and I think that that's really a mistake. When we read, whether it's nonfiction or memoir or a thriller or a mystery, we're always looking for a sense of place. We're trying to understand where we are and how power works in the world. And for me, the best reads, no matter what I'm reading, are the ones where the place is a character as well. So I find that when I'm working, I begin with a sense of power, how power functions in the world. And that's really what I know in that first draft. Whether it's magical power or the personal power that exists between two people in a room or in an environment. There's a microcosm and a macrocosm, and trying to figure out how that works in my world. And only then do I start to build in the texture of the world and the language, the flavor, the smell. But those things also cross over. When you think about economics, that's both of those things. When I was writing my first book, Shadow and Bone, my two main characters, Alina and Mal, originally had parents because I didn't want to fall into the fantasy trope of orphans. But then in the process of doing my research, I came across these stories of Russian noblemen who had gone to war when Napoleon invaded. And for the first time, they were forced to actually be in contact with their serfs, to sit with them during long nights of siege and to fight beside them. And there's a story, it is a real story of a nobleman who was given a Russian icon, a religious icon that he put in his jacket and that stopped a bullet. And when he went home, he converted his home into, I think it was an orphanage or a home for war widows. And these men returned from war and they had a very different view of the people who had essentially been viewed as property. So they started schools, they started hospitals, some of them freed their serfs. It was a huge shift in the Russian mindset. And I was so inspired by this that I went back and I did in fact make Mal and Alina orphans, and I put them at a place called Karamzin and created the character of Duke Karamzov, who was one of these men who had gone to war and had this shift in perspective.